checking a solution, polio. Jonas Salk developed the first polio vaccine. His goal was to eliminate the disease through creating a defense system, a vaccine, in a person's body. 2 million children were vaccinated and no one contracted polio. Was he successful? So, to begin, let's first write out the numbers that we have. 2 million and 0. So, we're going to be using the equation that we have here. So, it's the number of people vaccinated multiplied by the number of the same vaccinated people who contracted polio, which is equal to 0, as that's the goal. So, we will begin to substitute in these numbers. So we have 2 million kids who were vaccinated multiplied by 0, as 0 of these people contracted polio, which then we're seeing if it's equal to 0. But as we know, anything that is multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So we have 0 on the left-hand side and then 0 on the right-hand side. So we would say that the goal was met as 0 people contracted the virus after being vaccinated. So let's write down 2 important points. A solution is made up of 2 equal expressions. So a solution is the value of the variable that makes up the equation true. So let's look at another example. Example 2. Is x equal to 4 the solution to this equation? So the first step that we need to do is substitute the value. So we will take out the letter x and replace it with the number 4. And remember to place the number 4 in parentheses to get this equation that we will do. So we have negative 3, parentheses with the 4 inside. So those are multiplied together. Plus 6 is equal to 1. So we know our steps to solve this, which is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we don't have any operations in parentheses. We don't need to worry about that one, or exponents. So we can actually do a multiplication problem because this right here is multiplication. So we have negative 3 times 4, which is equal to negative 12. And then we're going to add 6, and we're seeing if this is equal to 1. Now, negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6, which actually does not equal 1. So we would say that x equals 4 is not a solution. And we could put a slash through the equal sign to show that this is not an equal expression on both sides. So let's go back over another example. Example 3. In 1938, there was an estimate of 1,600,000 children living in New York, where 9,000 of these children contracted the polio virus. According to a popular newspaper, this resulted in an infection rate of 0.56. Is this newspaper reporting the correct number? So we will use this equation, the number of infections divided by the people at risk, multiplied by 100 to equal the rate of infection. So let's substitute our numbers into this equation. We have the number of infections, so we have 9,000 as we get it from here in our problem. So 9,000 divided by the population at risk, so that is 1,600,000 times 100 is equal to the infection rate of 0.56. And so let's use our order of operations to solve. Which is parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide, add and subtract. So we don't have any parentheses. We don't have exponents. So let's look to see if we can do multiply and divide, which we can. There's two. We have a division and we have a multiplication. So let's go from left to right. And let's also use a calculator. So we have 9,000 divided by 1,600,000. So 1, which is equal to 0.0056. And we'll leave it at 6 because we don't need to round up, because 2 to the right of it is between 0 to 4 for our rounding rules. So 0.0056 is the answer to this division problem right here. So now we're going to multiply this by 100 to check to see if this is equal to 0.56. And we can use our calculator again. Multiply by 100, which is equal to 0.56. So we have two equal expressions. So this is correct. As in the newspaper is correct in reporting the correct number.